I'm eating corn and bacon pancakes with dollops of sour cream on top. Oh, and they're soft. And they've got you're hitting into the corn, then you're hitting into the bacon. There's a little bit of Parmesan cheese in there. This is heavenly. Been making these for years and years. Never ever get tired of these. So, quite easy to make. Let's go in the kitchen, make some right now. So here's our ingredients for making our pancakes. What I've got here is one 15-ounce can of creamed corn. I have a half a pound or 230 grams of bacon, which has been cut into 1/2-inch wide pieces, or 12 millimeters wide. 1 egg, a 1/4 cup of milk, a 1/2 cup of flour, 1/2 ounce of grated Parmesan cheese. It's about 14 grams of Parmesan cheese. 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon each of salt and pepper. So the first thing we're going to do is mix together some of the dry ingredients. So that would be our flour. It's going to go in there. The baking powder, the salt, and the pepper. The cheese will go in later. And then I just like to use a whisk to make sure it's all mixed around nicely. All right, and now I'm going to put this into a bigger bowl. So I can use this bowl now to mix the wet ingredients, which is the egg and the milk. Again, the creamed corn will go in a little later. So in goes the egg. I'm going to break that up with the whisk. Pour in the milk. And mix that up together. What I'm going to do is get this well blended before we add it into the dry ingredients. All right, let's bring those dry ingredients back up on board. And all I'm going to do now, pour this in and give that a mix. Just kind of blend that all together. All right. Now we can retire the whisk. Just going to use a spoon. I'm going to add in the corn and the Parmesan cheese. Mix that together. This is going to be terrific. Okay, now I'm going to let that sit off to one side because, first of all, we want to let that stand for a while. Just rest. You're resting the flour and everything. In the meantime, cooking the bacon. So, fire that up. Put that at about medium heat. Dump in the bacon. Now all I do is brown this bacon. I want to get a little towards the crispy side. Not overcooked, but crispy is nice. All right, so cook that for about 5 to 10 minutes, just stirring and moving around quite often, turning it over, just until you get that crispiness. So depending on your bacon, depending on your heat, that's going to take a different amount of minutes. I'll see you in a couple minutes when this is browned. All right. That's been cooking for about 10 minutes, getting nice and crispy. Japanese bacon is a little harder to get crispy than North American bacon. I don't know why, it's the way they cure it, but you turn the heat up, you can get it crispy. All right, let's turn that off. What I'm going to do now is just remove the bacon onto some paper towel just to drain off some of the excess fat. But we're going to reserve the rest here in the pan. You don't want to lose that. That's what we're going to cook in. Okay, get that on there. Smells great. I love the smell of bacon cooking. You know, nothing like it in the morning. Smell of coffee perking and the smell of bacon cooking. I used to stay at a cabin on weekends sometimes up in a place called East Barrier Lake outside of Kamloops, BC. And that was my favorite thing, was in that morning, the smell, still laying in bed, someone else was cooking. Great. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to reserve some of this oil because there's quite a bit of grease there. So we're going to save some of that for later batches of pancake. All right, get some of that in there. I ask you to leave about a tablespoon or so in the pan. That looks good. If you don't have enough, just supplement it with some butter. All right, now we're going to take the bacon. We're going to mix that into the batter. And then we'll bring the pan up to heat again. About a medium low. And just take this and spoon some. Make sure we're up to, well, we're pretty hot still from before. All right, spoon some into here. You can use a ladle for this too. I use a small ladle sometimes. This spoon works pretty good. All right, let's do 3 of them right now. You can do 3 or 4 in there. I just kind of took up a lot of room with those. Okay, now what you want to do is cook them 2 minutes per side. So you cook them for about 2 minutes. If you ever cook pancakes, you know, there's a little bubbling starts up in there. And it's time to flip them. So you want to make sure they're nice and golden on either side. All right, let's come back when those are cooked. All right, we're at about 2 minutes. If you look down in there, you can see some of the bubbles that are starting to pop. The air holes are forming. These pancakes, because there's less flour in them, you just get a little bit of that and you're ready to go. So let's have a look underneath. Flip one of these over. Oh, look at that. That's the color you want. All right, flip those over. They're very soft, so you have to be careful when you're flipping them that you don't break them, although they taste just as good when they're broken. All right, oops. We're gonna go another 2 minutes on this side, and then those are gonna be ready to eat. All right, that's been about another 2 minutes, and we'll just have a quick look underneath one of these. Yeah, getting golden underneath there. Not quite as brown towards the outside edges of the pan, because you know, the inside gets hotter. So you can always give it a little turn around for another half a minute or so if that happens. But basically, these are ready to eat. So let's take them, serve them up on a plate. All right, I've got here more batter. I've reserved some oil. We're gonna cook another batch. But first, let's serve this up. I like to serve this with sour cream. Put a little sour cream on the side. Let everybody put their own amount on there. That's about a cup of sour cream there. Put a nice dollop of sour cream on there. A little bit more lapping over onto this one. That is absolutely delicious. That is heaven. All right. Now, some of the variations that you can also make are, you can always add other things like a little bit of cheddar cheese, a little tiny, chop up small cubes of cheddar cheese and throw them in there. Jalapeno pepper, fantastic. I don't put jalapeno pepper in the main because my wife hates jalapeno peppers, but I will add it as I'm throwing dollops of batter into the pan. Just sprinkle a couple little chopped up pieces of jalapeno pepper on there for me, and she can get the ones without. Everybody's happy. Now, if you go to the link appearing on the screen, you can get the free printable recipe for corn and bacon pancakes on our website. So go print out the recipe, have fun making and eating these delicious pancakes, and make cooking fun again with Kuma's Kitchen.
you.